30 minutes as the world turns. Brought to you today by Comet.
Difficulty at home, so I thought I'd get out for a while.
I know what you mean. One of these days, the way things stand between Doug and me, I think I'd be much better off out of here.
That bad, huh?
Every time we're together, it's the same thing. Either we say nothing or we say too much. It's not fair to Mother. I think I'd be much better off out of here.
Knowing the situation here, I can't say I'm too surprised. I did have one hope, though.
That I would change my mind?
Yeah.
Penny, I'm never going to change my mind about wanting my son. Never. I'm going ahead with the custody suit, and that's that. What about you?
Well, my problem concerns a house full of furniture.
You storing it?
No, I'm not. I was over at Baker's last night.
It's been some time since you've been over there.
Oh, well, Dick called me and asked me to come over and said there was something he wanted to tell me. There was something I already knew. The Bakers have extended the lease on the house. Jefferson.
Without your knowing it?
That's right. They don't want me to give it up, either. They asked me to keep my furniture there for a while longer.
Does it really make that much difference whether the furniture is there or whether it's in storage?
In a way, it does. Well, I can't explain it. Yes, I can. There's something so final about giving up my furniture and moving it out. And I don't want anything to be final right now.
Maybe sometimes it has to be. Sometimes it's best that it is.
Maybe. You really think I'm foolish and waiting to hear from Jeff, don't you?
I'm not really in any position to say whether you're foolish or not. It's difficult for me to put myself in your place, just like it's difficult for you to put yourself in my place.
Well, I think I can, though. At least I try to.
But you can't. You can't understand my wanting to find an attorney. I've got to. I've got to find not just an attorney, but a very good one.
You went to a good one, Ellen. Mitch Drew, and he refused to represent you.
He's just one. There are others, Pam.
Ellen, be realistic. If Mitchell Drew doesn't think you have a case, what makes you think somebody else will?
I'll find someone.
Have you talked to your grandfather lately?
No. I'm not going to go near Grandfather. Being with him is just like being with Doug. I hear the same things over and over again. They tell me that I have no right to my own child. They say that I would be making a serious mistake if I try to get him back. Oh, I have had so many things drummed into my head, Pam.
Just remember one thing, huh? Your grandfather and Doug and everybody, the judge, they all love you. They're only thinking of what's best for you.
What they think is best for me. They're just worried about the publicity. I have heard I don't know how many times about what a custody suit would mean. The newspaper publicity, the photos, the headlines. Oh, Pam, I don't want all that publicity any more than the Stewarts do. I am just as concerned about my son as they are. That's why I've got to find myself a good attorney, someone who'll see to it that there won't be any publicity, or if there is, that there'll be so little that it won't amount to anything.
What if you can't find such an attorney?
Oh, I will. I don't know who, but I'm going to find someone. I have a child, and I want my child. It's as simple as that, Pen.
And it's as complex as the fact that you gave that child out for adoption. 2 people adopted that child 4.5 years ago. They consider him their son, and he considers them his parents. Now, it's not simple.
Don't start lecturing, please, Pen.
I won't.
Nothing anyone is going to say to me is going to make me change my mind. I am Donnie's mother, and I want him.
All right,
One thing can't understand that. I keep thinking about it. Why did Mr. Drew decide not to take my case?
Say, that'd be kind of obvious. He doesn't think you have a case.
I've got to find someone who does. Someone who'll understand, who'll know that I have rights as a mother.
But who, Ellen?
I don't know.
This one looks better to you. Does that mean that you prefer this kind of whiteness?
Yes,
Would you like to know what was used to wash it?
I'd love to know. Look
Miss
here.
Fair?
Here at the Danbury, Connecticut Fair, Mrs. Lottie Brady just compared new laundry, used and washed, for the cheer test. Now watch. Here comes Ann Sheldon. Ann, posing as a bystander, just asked Mrs. Brady her reaction to the test.
I've seen it on television, but I never thought I'd be able to. And you really can tell the difference. My golly, it really works, doesn't it? It's a handsome fellow, isn't it?
Yes, very. Tell me, have you ever used here?
No, I haven't.
You gonna switch to?
Well, definitely now. I mean, my clothes are icky, you know, and this is nice and clean.
Ladies, most women, like Mrs. Brady, see that cheer with its blue magic whitener gives you a deeper kind of white. Try cheer and see the difference.
Jimmy. Jimmy. Someday soon, I'll have you. I'm your mother, Jimmy. I'm your mother. I've got to find someone to take my case. If Mr. Drew had taken it, I know I would have had a real chance of getting Jimmy back. Why did he say he'd think it over and then turn me down? He must have thought that I had a case, that I had something to go on. He must have. Something to go on. I was forced to give up my child. My grandfather, Dr. Meadows, Miss Nichols. I didn't know what I was doing when I gave him up. But who believes in me? Who? There was a time when Don was in love with me. Maybe he still is. I can remember the evening we were having dinner together.
Would you care for a little more coffee, Ellen?
No, I don't think so, Don. Thanks.
Elle, I know that you don't want to talk about this tonight, and maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to.
Don, I thought that we had an understanding.
Well, I suppose we did.
Maybe I'm being a little unfair and even having dinner with you tonight.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
No, I mean it. I don't want you to become too serious about me, Don.
Why not?
I don't want that to happen.
Ellen, I realize that it hasn't been too long since Tim died. I know that you're going to need a little time.
There's more to it than that, Don. I've tried to tell you several times. I just can't see myself being seriously interested in anyone.
Well, that's understandable under the circumstances. But you don't know how long you'll feel that way.
No, Don, I don't, nor do you. I can only be your friend. That's as far as it can go.
I've told you I was willing to go along on that basis. Ellen, I enjoy being with you.
And I feel so comfortable with you.
That's the starting point, isn't it?
Don, I don't want you to get hurt.
Now, suppose you let me take my chances on that, huh? I'm not a youngster.
Oh, it's just the point. You are 27. One of these days soon, you're going to want to settle down, get married, have a family.
Well, of course. Every man wants that.
I just don't want you to think... Well, what I'm trying to say is...
Ellen, I know what you're trying to say. Now, just let me say something to you. If it isn't you, it's going to be someone very like you. Because you're the kind of girl I want to marry.
Don, once and for all...
Once and for all, I'm willing to accept our relationship on any basis that's acceptable to you.
Will you go out with other girls?
No. Ellen, you've made your position perfectly clear tonight. I think I've made mine pretty clear. You know how I feel about you. But I can only hope that sometime the day will come when you think of me as more than just a friend. I know you, Ellen, better than anyone else. I'm going to wait. Because I believe that day will come.
Donald believes in me. He's a fine attorney. Grandfather said he's a very good attorney. Don would do it for me. I think he would. Don, this is Ellen. Oh, all right. Don, I'd like to see you. Oh, no, I realize it's a little late tonight. How about tomorrow night? Do you have to work? Couldn't you just... Oh, 9:30 be fine. At your office. There won't be anyone else there, will there? All right, then I'll meet you there. Don, please don't mention to anyone that you're going to be meeting me, all right? Thank you, Don. Good night. He's got to help me. He's just got to.
Here we are, Ellen. No, it was very nice of you to agree to meet me here tonight. I had to stay downtown to work. Now, where would you like to go?
Well, could we just stay here and talk for a while?
Well, of course. Here, let me take your coat.
Thank you.
Sit down, Ellen.
Thank you. Tell me, Don, were you surprised when I telephoned last night?
No. Why should I be?
I thought you might wonder why I phoned.
You said you wanted to talk to me about something.
I also said that I didn't want you to tell anyone that you were going to see me. Don, I need some advice.
Oh. Are you sure I can give it to you?
And you do have an idea what it is I want to talk to you about.
I don't know whether I'm right or not. I know that you've had some difficulty.
How much has your father told you about the Stewarts?
Not a great deal. He told me that you found your son and about the footprint, the rest of it.
Did he tell you that I've asked the Stewarts to give my son back to me?
Yes, I know that.
Don, can you understand my wanting him back?
Of course I can. But Ellen, it's been quite some time since you gave him out for adoption.
Oh, but I didn't give him away, Don. That's the whole point. I was forced to. And now that I've found Jimmy, everyone thinks that I should just sit back and forget about him. But I can't, Don. I can't.
Of course you can't. You're his mother.
And You do understand. Don, I want you to help me.
We'll return to As the World Turns in just a moment.
Oh, I'm afraid I don't understand. Just in what way can I help you?
Don, I want to bring a custody suit against the Stewarts.
Custody suit.
I've been stopped everywhere I've turned. Grandfather, your father, Mr. Drew.
Mitchell Drew? Did you see him?
Yes, about a week ago.
What did he say?
That is so infuriating. He was the one person who gave me any hope at all. He saw a way, Don. I am sure of it.
I understand, Elle. You've got Mitch Drew on your side. You certainly don't...
That's just it. I haven't got him. He told me that he wanted to think it over. And a few days later, he telephoned to say that he had made up his mind not to handle the case.
And he must have felt you have no case.
No, Don, he didn't say that. He just said that he wasn't convinced that a change would be the best thing for my child. But, Don, I am Danny's mother. Everyone is so busy thinking about David and Betty and what it would mean to them if they had to give Danny up. No one seems to care what this means to me.
Of course I do.
Do you really?
Of course I do.
Don, this is the most important thing in my whole life. I want my son back.
I can understand that.
Not just for myself, Don. It's for him. He needs me. I can't seem to make anyone understand that. Betty Stewart means well, but she is wrong for him. Maybe she wanted a child too much. Maybe she waited too long before she adopted him. Whatever the reason, she is wrong for Jimmy. She's spoiling him.
Do you know this for a fact?
Yes. Months before I even knew that Danny was my son, I could see that.
But Ellen, Danny Stewart was legally adopted.
That can be set aside, can't it?
If the adoption proceedings were illegal, yes, but it isn't easy, Al.
I realize that. I realize everything that it involves. But I can win. I can and I will. Don, I want you to represent me in this custody suit. Please.
We'll return to As the World Turns in just a moment.
Al, you need someone who's had some experience.
No, Don. I need someone who believes in me and in the case. How could anyone persuade a court that I'm right if he doesn't believe it himself?
There's some truth in that, but...
But what?
Well, I think there's a lot more here than what you've already told me. In fact, I have serious doubts as to whether you have a case. Unless... One thing you said before, that you were forced to give the baby out for adoption. If that was true, then your consent was not valid.
It is true. They made me sign that paper, Don.
The adoption consent?
Yes. Only that isn't what they called it. They said I was just giving Jimmy a home for a while. I didn't understand that I'd be losing him forever. They kept at me until I just didn't know what to do. And Jimmy had been sick. He almost died. I thought that I was to blame. They kept at me until I just couldn't fight anymore, Don. I was willing to believe anything that they told me.
If you were forced to do anything that you didn't want to do, then your consent wasn't valid.
We'll have to prove that, though, won't we?
Yes, it'll have to be proved.
Grandfather isn't going to like this.
Why not? He may not welcome a court battle, but certainly he can't have any argument against your doing whatever you have to do to win it.
Oh, yes, he can. Grandfather never wanted me to keep Jimmy. Even before Jimmy was born. He hated the idea. He is so frightened of the idea now that I might bring this suit.
I can't believe that, Al.
That adoption consent was forced out of me, Don. Forced by several people, but most of all by the one man who was determined that I would have to get rid of my child. To save the Lowell reputation. The Lowell name.
You mean your grandfather?
That's right. As far as I can see, that means there's only one way that we can win this suit.
Yes. He'll have to be put on the stand.
That's right.
Ellen, this is going to be very unpleasant. I hope you realize that. Also, there's going to be publicity. I don't see how it can be avoided. Do you realize that the whole business of Tim is going to be dragged up again?
Don, it doesn't matter to me. Please don't let it matter to you.
There's something else, Ellen, you should realize this is going to mean. Your principal target will be Judge Lowell. I work for her. I don't see how I can represent you and keep on working here.
I realize that. I also know that your father isn't going to like it. He's going to do everything that he can to talk you out of it.
I'd have to resign from the firm. Ellen, I think you should seriously consider getting someone with more experience. And I'm thinking of you, of any chance you might have of winning such a suit.
Don, you are the last person that I have to turn to. You believe in me. You said that you did. You'll fight for me. That's more important to me than any amount of experience.
And what if I were to lose?
You won't lose. You can't lose. Don, I know that I am going to get Jimmy back.
I wonder if my father knows the whole story. I mean, what the judge did to force you to give him away.
What difference does it make? Facts are facts. If you're going to be influenced by what your father tells you.
Yes, of course, Ellen, you're right. It's my decision.
Don, will you take the case?
The judge hasn't been well. The idea of putting him on a stand...
I know it's going to be unpleasant. But remember this, Don. Please remember. Danny Stewart is my child. He is my son. He belongs to me. I am his mother. He should be with me.
Of course he should.
Then you will?
Yes. I'll handle your case.
As the World Turns has been brought to you today by the Quaker Oats Company, who also bring you the Tom Ewell Show tonight over most of these same stations. Maternity fashions from Avon. Join us again tomorrow for another half hour of drama on As the World Turns.